Imagine waking up in the middle of the night. The house is completely silent. The doors are locked. The lights are off. Nothing seems wrong. Yet, your heart starts beating a little faster. You listen carefully. Was that a sound? Or was it only your imagination? For a few seconds, your brain prepares for danger, even though there may be none. Why? Why can a perfectly safe room still feel unsafe? Why do millions of people worry about tomorrow, even when today is going just fine? Why does anxiety appear out of nowhere? The answer isn't hidden in modern life. It is hidden nearly 300,000 years in the past, because your brain wasn't designed for comfort. It was designed for survival. Every human alive today carries the same ancient operating system, built in a world where making one wrong decision could mean death. Back then, safety wasn't something you found. It was something you fought for. Every single day. A rustle in the grass could be a predator. A stranger could be an enemy. A dark cave might hide something waiting in silence. Those who assumed everything was safe often didn't survive long enough to have children. But those who expected danger, those who stayed alert, those who imagined the worst, they survived. And over thousands of generations, their brains became our brains. That's why your mind still searches for problems, even when your life is better than that of almost every human who has ever lived. This isn't a flaw. It's ancient programming. Today, we have locked doors, hospitals, supermarkets, smartphones, and police. To understand why your mind never fully relaxes, we have to travel back nearly 300,000 years. Picture a small group of early humans crossing an open African savanna. They had no houses, no hospitals, no police, no maps, no certainty that they would survive until sunset. Every day was a gamble. A hidden lion could end a life in seconds. A venomous snake beneath a rock. A poisoned berry. A rival tribe appearing over the hill. Death often arrived without warning. In that world, the cost of being wrong was enormous. Imagine two ancient humans. One hears a strange noise in the bushes and thinks, it's probably just the wind. The other immediately assumes, it could be a predator. If the sound really is only the wind, the cautious person loses nothing except a few seconds. But if it is a lion, the optimistic person loses everything. Evolution noticed this difference. Generation after generation, the brains that expected danger survived more often than the brains that ignored it. Slowly, the human brain became a prediction machine, not one that predicts happiness, but one that predicts threats. This is why your attention naturally moves toward bad news, why one criticism hurts more than 10 compliments, why your mind remembers embarrassing moments for years, but quickly forgets ordinary peaceful days. Psychologists call this the negativity bias. It isn't a design mistake, it is one of evolution's oldest survival tools. Your ancestors survived because their brains constantly asked one question. What could go wrong? That question protected them from predators. Today, the predators have changed. Instead of lions, we worry about losing our jobs. Instead of poisonous snakes, we fear rejection. Instead of rival tribes, we fear judgment from strangers on the internet. The dangers look different, but the ancient survival system reacts almost exactly the same. Your brain doesn't care whether the threat is physical or social. It simply prepares you to survive. And that's why, even in the safest period of human history, your mind keeps searching for the next possible danger. Now comes the strange part. The world around you has changed more in the last few thousand years than your brain has in hundreds of thousands. Your ancestors evolved in small tribes of 30 to 100 people. They knew almost everyone they met. Most days followed familiar routines, finding food, caring for family, avoiding danger, and sleeping before nightfall. Their world was simple. Your world is not. Before you even get out of bed, your brain is flooded with information. A message from work, a news alert about a disaster on the other side of the planet, a social media post showing someone else's perfect life, an email asking for an urgent reply. Within minutes, your ancient brain is processing more information than many of your ancestors experienced in days. The problem is, your brain treats much of this information as if it could affect your survival. Every notification demands attention. Every headline competes for your fear. Every disagreement online can feel like social rejection. Thousands of years ago, being rejected by your tribe could mean losing protection, food, and companionship. For an early human, isolation could be deadly. That is why your brain still reacts so strongly when you feel ignored, left out, or judged by others. The threat isn't physical, but your brain responds as though it is. This is why a simple comment on social media can stay in your mind for hours, why an awkward conversation keeps replaying long after it has ended, why your heart races before speaking in front of a crowd. Your body is preparing for danger, even when no predator exists. And then there is uncertainty. Your ancient brain hates not knowing what comes next. In the wild, uncertainty often meant hidden danger. A quiet forest could hide a predator. A changing season could bring famine. Today, uncertainty looks different. Waiting for medical test results. Wondering if you'll get the job. Checking your phone for a reply that hasn't arrived. The situations are modern, but the emotions are ancient. This is why complete safety always seems just out of reach. The moment one problem disappears, your brain starts searching for another, not because it wants you to suffer, but because it was built to protect you. The same survival system that once kept our ancestors alive now keeps many of us feeling like danger is always just around the corner. So, does this mean humans are destined to live in fear forever? Not at all. The remarkable thing about the human brain is that while evolution gave us ancient instincts, it also gave us something even more powerful: awareness. The moment you understand that your brain is constantly searching for danger, you stop believing every fearful thought it creates. Think of your mind like an old smoke alarm. Thousands of years ago, that alarm had to be incredibly sensitive. If it failed even once, the consequences could be fatal. But today, that same alarm often goes off while you're making a presentation, waiting for a text message, or lying safely in your own bed. The alarm isn't broken. It's simply doing the job evolution gave it. The challenge is learning the difference between a real threat and an ancient survival response. The next time your mind begins imagining the worst, pause for a moment. Ask yourself one simple question: am I in danger, or does my ancient brain only think I am? That single question creates space between you and your instincts. It reminds you that not every racing heartbeat means something is wrong. Not every anxious thought predicts the future. Not every uncomfortable feeling is a warning. Sometimes, it's just the echo of a world that no longer exists. The predators have changed. The world has changed. But your brain is still carrying millions of years of survival programming. And perhaps that is the greatest irony of being human. The very system that helped our ancestors survive can also make it difficult for us to feel completely at peace. Realizing this won't erase fear, but it can stop fear from controlling your life. Because once you understand why your brain reacts the way it does, you begin to work with it, instead of fighting against it. And maybe, for the first time, you'll realize that you were never broken. You were simply carrying an ancient mind through a modern world. If you enjoyed this journey into the hidden workings of the human brain, subscribe to Ancient Mind. Every week, we uncover the fascinating science, psychology, and evolution behind the behaviors that make us human. Because once you understand your ancient brain, you begin to understand yourself. And that changes everything.